Hello and welcome to my Tarot Corner, and I apologize for not being consistent with uploading lately. I suppose that I don't have to explain too much, but I do have some good news. Yesterday we managed to have good news with my son. We had a meeting with someone in the army, and we managed to help him get released from the army, which with his mental health right now is a very good thing, and this is something that we really strive for, and did cause me a lot of distress. For those of you who know me for a long time, you know I talked about it. So this was a big win for us yesterday. In the political arena, nothing is really changing right now. We are very worried, and we're trying to be optimistic as much as we can. For those of you who think that Netanyahu gave up, he did not give up. He just postponed the reform in a month to allow the sides to meet and talk. But in the meantime, he promised his minister for internal security to establish a national guard, and this national guard is it's like the Israeli way of establishing an, if you know what the SA were in Nazi Germany, or for those who know what the Stasi was in Romania, or the KGB in Russia, this is exactly it. So apparently this was part of the agreements, part of the coalition agreements, and now as trying to appease that minister, a person who has criminal records, apparently, he gave him the permission to go on and start looking into establishing this force. So we are worried, and we are going full force in still demonstrating and going to demonstrate wherever we can, and we're not giving up. So as you can imagine, I am on top of a lot of WhatsApp groups, and most of my time is dedicated to that. And then I managed to listen to a few of my regular video creators and get updated with what's going on with our toxic duo. So you all know that Harry came to the UK to appear in a court, in a court proceedings that he wasn't even obliged to go to be there. That is in the court case of him and Elton John and others against A&L. In the case of them in phone tapping and having all sorts of ways, private investigators and obtaining information on people, even the royal family, but not only the royal family, famous people in the ways that they claim that are illegal ways. Now, Harry, in the first day, came and naturally he notified the press that he's going to arrive, and he came very, very smug to the front entrance of the courthouse. He was the only one who did that. And he even bumped into one of the photographers that was there. Whether it was intentional or not, I think that he was so smug and he was so preoccupied in looking at the people, at the photographers. He did not look for a minute as someone who is suffering from PTSD and cannot stand hearing the clicks of cameras. So he was so preoccupied by smiling at the cameras that he didn't even look at the people that were standing in his way. So he bumped into that photographer. Then at the end of that day in court, he did not look that happy when he left, and at the day afterwards he did not enter the courthouse in the front entrance, but as the other participants he went to the side entrance, because he knew that people from the people that know that he might be coming could be there and boo him or say or cry things like why did you try to destroy the royal family, as people cried that to him in New York. So naturally he didn't want to deal with that. So, and then in the third day, he didn't even go to court. But his appearance in court was unnecessary. And then he went to court to bash his family and claim that his family was the one who is to blame, that he didn't know that he was being monitored by the media, because the royal family didn't tell him that he was monitored. But the main piece of information that came from that whole evidence was that actually what he's angry about was mostly about the fact that his relationship with Chelsea Davy was hindered by the fact that he was hounded by the media at the time, and that scared Chelsea Davy, who didn't want this kind of life. So it seems like he's still holding a grudge to the media for Chelsea Davy not accepting his proposition to marry him, despite the fact that he is now living his best life, despite the fact that he is now living with the woman that he loves and the love of his life. So that is really weird. And other things that came out were that the people that were really hacked and that really listened to in the royal family weren't Harry and Chelsea, but mostly Kate, Catherine, and William, and other people, not very much Harry and Chelsea. I'm not putting down the fact that Harry and Chelsea were chased by paparazzi and were probably hacked, but not as much as Catherine was. And then came out all of the stories about King Charles not having the time to see him, But we all know that King Charles wasn't supposed to be in the UK this time at all. He was supposed to be in France. So it looks like Harry didn't even think about meeting his father when he decided to come, and actually it looks like he wanted to upstage his father's visit in France. And the fact that this visit was cancelled by Macron is just a happy circumstance. But then a day later, King Charles went to Germany, so he really did not have the time to meet Harry. And William isn't even near London, so he cannot meet Harry. And I don't think that that was even a question of whether or not William will meet Harry. Now, just one more thing is yesterday, Avid Gardner had made a very cryptic video in which she said that she knows something about the real reason why Harry arrived to the UK, why he is participating in this whole court case, and it's not what we think. So I've decided to do a Celtic cross and look into why did he really arrive? What is he really trying to get from this? What are his real motives? So this tarot deck is called the LUBANKO tarot deck. It was created by a person that is called LUBANKO, and he describes himself as a queer person. And when he comes to describe the way he worked in creating this deck, what he writes is, as a queer artist with a lens of the vivid surreal, the sensual, and the pain of catharsis of life, I am sharing that intensity, that queerness, those shock of colors with you. And I agree that this deck has a lot of images that share a lot of pain, a lot of passion, and a lot of darkness, but also so you can feel the pain that the creator had, but the passion, and it's not only darkness but also light. So this is exactly how he describes this deck, and I thought that it's a good deck to use for this reading. So let's start by saying my disclaimer. This is a tarot reading. It is vibrational. It is open to interpretation. It exists as assumptions and speculation, and as such may or may not be true. So please do your own research and decide for yourselves. Okay, so let's clear the deck. And let's start asking, so why did Harry come to participate in the court case against DANL for the phone hacking? What is he trying to achieve? What is his major goal? What are the problems that he's trying to solve? What is his true goal here? What is his real reason for coming to the UK to participate in the court case against ANL? What is Harry trying to achieve? What is he afraid of? What is he trying to get? What are his goals? What are his next steps? What is Harry trying to achieve by coming to the UK to participate in the court case? against the ANL for the phone hacking. Okay, so let's cut the deck. The first card is the situation. So it gives us an overview of the situation as it is. And it is the Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords is a card that speaks about the necessity to get down from the fence and start being active. This is about a situation in which there are no real good options. All the options that are in front of Harry or in front of the people that are on his side or in front of those people participating in that lawsuit are bad. But this is about the necessity to get out and do something, to get off the fence and be active. And when you are choosing some kind of action, this is getting you ahead. And getting ahead is getting you one step forward towards the Six of Swords, which is the vacation card. So what this card is talking about is get off the fence and start doing things. But it's also talking about the need to start thinking logically. Now, the interesting thing about the Five of Swords in this card is that we see here a man that is walking with three swords that are stuck in his back. And the Two of Swords are here with these two men. So we see here a very isolated man that is not only afraid of getting hurt, but he's already hurt. So someone who got stabbed in the back. So this is very much the feeling of a person that is discovering after years that he was monitored by private investigators, that the media outlets were hacking his phone. So this is like a person that is feeling that he was stabbed in the back. And he's looking at his options, and all options are bad, but doing nothing is even worse. So right now, it's like Harry's feeling that he needs to get off the fence and do something. So I'm not so sure that this is a bad thing. I'm not so sure that his motives are so bad. I do feel that in this instance, he feels that he was stabbed in the back. It's not only him, it's also his mother, it's also other people from the royal family that were hacked, that were monitored by the press. And in a way, he feels that he's doing something. So something to show that he's not only letting others decide for him, that he's not just being not satisfied on just talking about things, but also doing something. So this card actually, you might come out and say, what happened to you, what are you talking about? But this card actually shows that in this situation, this could be that he's coming from a positive place or a good place of coming with these people, with other people that were also backstabbed by the press, and maybe his preliminary motives were not so pure, but when he went into the thick of it, he realized that there were many other things that that it was worth his while to go into this court case. So not all court cases are a bad thing. Okay, so what is the main problem here? And the main problem here is the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so the Eight of Pentacles is a card that speaks about working hard and not getting paid a lot for it. And this is a card of the apprentice. Now, when we're looking at a problem in this instance and we get the Eight of Pentacles, first of all, when we look at this card, we see a man that is, crouching in front of a woman. It's not a woman even, it's a statue of a woman. So he's like working on this statue. It's like a sculpture that is working on a statue. So this is like the artist that is working on a statue. So he's working out hard. This is the apprentice card. This is how this card is usually seen, like the apprentice that is working hard, and he wants to be a great artist. So his motives are not to get paid. His motives is to be that great artist. So but when it comes into problems, we need to look at the negative aspects of this card. And the negative aspects of this card are being materialistic and over materialistic. So the problem here is that Harry is not coming from a pure motive. So he's not coming from a place of the need to help people, the need to really help others that feel betrayed. He's not coming from the place of wanting to learn and to be good in what he's doing. No, he's coming from a place of greediness. He's coming from a place of someone who believes that everything is just hard, and there is nothing that he can do to change things, or the other way around, that everything is just too hard and there is nothing that he can do to change things in a good way. So he needs to go to court in order to change things. So he cannot change things by working on them. That he feels that he's sacrificial, that he feels that that his own worth was reduced. And this is how he feels that he's been sacrificing himself. And this is his main problem. That's his main problem ever since he got married, that he feels that he's being sacrificed. And this is one of the things that he's been saying all along. My family has sacrificed me. So he's completely neglecting the fact that other people in the royal family were hacked much more than he was. They were hounded by the paparazzis much more than he was. He's just putting that aside. He's looking about his own sacrifices. He's looking at his own 3 swords in the back, and he's just complaining about the fact that he was sacrificing himself, and that he is his real motives are greed, and that is his main problem. So what is his main goal? What does he really want? And the answer is the 7 of Swords. So that is an interesting card, because look at what we see here. The 7 of Swords is usually a card that we see a person that is let's start with the psychological interpretation. The psychological interpretation of the Seven of Swords is a card of planning and having a strategy. That could be a good strategy, that could be a bad strategy, but it is about planning and having a strategy. And in the Rider-Waite tarot, we see a person that looks like he's stealing these swords from a camp, and it looks like a conniving person. So that's why the Seven of Swords usually is connected with conniving and with concealment and with acting cunningly. This card is showing the strategy and planning in a very good way, because we see here a ninja fighter who has these Seven of Swords in her back, and she's looking around into how to plan her attack in the best way, how to strategize her attack in the best way, and she's pulling one of the swords because she's going to stab this man who is here lying. So if we're looking at what Harry really wants, he wants his plans, he wants his strategy to work. So he has a plan, he has a strategy that it doesn't have to be his own, it could be his wife's, it could be something that he devised with other people, with Elton John, with the other people that are suing the ANL. There is a strategy, there is a plan, and his main goal is to make that plan work, to make that strategy work. So this is what he really wants. He wants to have this idea to become a reality. So he wants to win this case. He wants to make this dream, to make this plan a reality. And that plan could be to win this case. That plan could be to destroy the royal family, as I read today in the Express, I think, that there is this crazy theory that Harry actually wants to destroy the royal family. I don't think that it's such a crazy theory. This could be very much part of the plan, but there is a plan here. There is a plan, and this could be very much a manipulation as well. So there is a plan, there is a strategy, and his main wish or his main goal is to make this plan work. Okay, so what are his underlying motives? And his underlying motives are the Ten of Wands. So that's interesting, because the Ten of Wands is a card of overload. This is a card of having too much to bear. This is a card of having too many obstacles in your way. And when it's about underlying motives, so it's probably about getting those obstacles away, to cut this cord and getting those obstacles thrown down to the ravine. As you can see here, this is a very good card to show us the overload, because this is a person that is climbing a mountain and he's carrying all of those 10 wands that are weighing way too much on his back, and all he needs to do is cut the cord, and then it will be much easier for him to climb the mountain. So this is what he really wants to do. He wants to be able to cut the cord, and to cut the cord could be to cut the ties from his family. But this is a card that speaks about self-destruction. This is a card that speaks about the need for a conquest. So he needs the conquest. He needs to be able to climb the mountain and to be there on the top and say, I won. This is what he wants. He needs the conquest. He needs to have the, and this is about also, this is also about being in a survival mode. This is about a person that will self-destruct in order to be, to get that conquest. This is a person that will be vindictive, even if it means that he will get that victory that he wants. So he wants this conquest. He wants to cut the cord, and cutting the cord, in my opinion, is dropping everything that is weighing too much on him. These are the things that are weighing on his conscience. This could be his family that is weighing on his conscience. All of the things that are disturbing him from climbing this mountain and getting that conquest. So this is what is in his underlying motive. He wants to, he's over ambitious. He's very ambitious. He wants to succeed no matter what. This is a person that will do whatever it takes, no matter what is the price, even if it means quarrels, even if it means conflicts, even if it means difficulties. This is a person that is not listening to others' opinions. This is a person that has difficulties in getting in listening to others, in getting authority or having borders. This is a person that has difficulty in realizing his own limitations. And that is why this is his underlying motives, because this is in his subconscious. He is not aware of it, but he will do whatever it takes in order to get that conquest. Okay, what can we see in the past that led for that? And this is not only what led for that, but it's things that he has done in the past that are not helping him. And we get the Queen of Cups. So this has few meanings, because the Queen of Cups is the adventurous queen. The Queen of Cups is also the card that represents his father. Now, I told you before, the past card represents two things. It represents the things in the past that led to this event, and the things in the past that are not serving him any longer. So the Queen of Cups is the adventurous person, someone who is going out to destroy in order to rebuild, someone who is taking risks, someone who is not looking at the results or the possible results, someone who will break conventions. This is also a person that is addicted, and these are the things that are not helping him, the things that he should leave in the past, which is the addiction part and the part of destroying things in order to build. Who said that in order to build something new, you have to destroy everything that you had in the past? So all these are the things that he's been doing that are not helping him. And then we have his father, because this card also represents his father. And his father is also the reason why he's here. And it's also something that he has decided to put in his past and not to look back. And this is a shame. So this is why this card is in his past. What is this next step for him? And the next step for him is the Nine of Swords. Okay, so he's into something very difficult because the Nine of Swords is worry and justified worry. So he's not going to be very happy. This is a card that shows that this is a person that is entering a very, very bad stage. This is a person that is making all of the possible mistakes. This is a person that is unable to act logically. This is failure. This is sickness, inability to act in the right way, wrong judgment, meddling in dark affairs, disasters, all the unpleasant things that you can just think of. This is a card of self-destruction. So it's another card of self-destruction because this wasn't a card of self-destruction, and then another card of self-destruction, wrong choices. And this is a person that is choosing not to see the difficulties and finding it hard to cut when he needs to cut. So Harry is unable to see the real things that he needs to cut. So in this card, we see a person that decides to cut, but not the right things. So he will find it hard to cut the right things, but he will cut the wrong things. So we see that he's going into this period of being pessimistic, fear of loss, feel of failure, guilt, anxiety, depression, wrong choices, and as always, letting others decide for him. Okay, so how can we see Harry as he is right now? And we see the Six of Swords, which is interesting because it just see how many swords we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we started with the Five of Swords, and I told you that the Five of Swords is one card before the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is the card of vacation. And the card right after the Six of Swords is the Seven of Swords, which is the card of strategy and planning. But right now, Harry, first of all, Six of Swords is not only vacation, it is also a person that is going away or taking, let's say, a boat or taking a plane and crossing the ocean. So first of all, we saw that Harry has flown over the ocean and he's back in the UK. So he left one place and went back to the UK. So this is representing the fact that he has changed places. But the Six of Swords is also a person that right now is unable to make a decision. So he's right now needs to take some time off. He's in a temporary situation. He's unable to resolve anything. He's looking for help. So right now he is finding it difficult to persevere, and he's in a way, in a place of running away and not facing problems. This is another card of addictions. This is a card of someone who is relying on others, and he is giving up. So right now he is in a place of getting ready to give up. And once again, we started in the Five of Swords, a person that decides to take action. He wants to be able to believe that it will get him to a place where the strategies and the plans that they made will work. But then we see that in his subconscious, he is afraid that he won't be able to get that conquest because of the baggage that he's carrying with him. And we see that he's unable to think about how to to differentiate the monetary gain from the actual work that he needs to do. So he's only thinking about the money, the greed, and not the work that he needs to do. He is leaving behind him the things that he should take with him, like his family, like the things that are that he's destroying in his past. He's taking with him addictions, which is not a good thing, and he's entering this stage of anxiety and fear. And then it's not so it's not a surprise that he is in this Six of Swords energy of a person that finds it hard to persevere and needs to run away. So how do other people see him? And other people, that could be the people around him that participate in the court case, that could be the people of England, that could be his wife, that could be the royal family. So how do people see him? And we get the emperor. And the emperor, that is the person, that is his father, that is the king. And that is actually the king that is controlling the material world, but he sees him as someone who wants to be independent. He wants to be able to control his own world, but he's unable to do that because of all of the bad cards that came before the emperor. This card is badly aspected, and it shows that he's unable to be the emperor of his own world. Each man wants to be the emperor of his small world, of his small family unit. And Harry is not different, but he's unable to control his material world. He's afraid of losing control. He has difficulty in anger management. He's very competitive. And people see that, and people see him as someone who is trying to compete with his brother, as someone who is chauvinistic, as someone who is having anger management problems, and someone who is very much afraid of losing control of his own world. Okay, so what are his hopes and fears? And what I'm getting here is the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords, when it comes in the fears place, we need to look at the negative aspects of this card. And the Ace of Swords is about getting your thoughts and your ideas and your plans realized in the material world. And when it is negatively aspected, it's like getting it in the reverse. And just pay attention that in this Ace of Swords, there is no crown. And when it is badly aspected, it's about a person that is ideas are failing. It's a person that is immature. It's a person that is not giving chances and is cutting too quickly. A person that is afraid to try things, and a person that has a tendency to take credit for others' plans. So altogether, he's afraid that everything that he's doing is failing, and he's afraid that people will see that he's immature, and he's afraid to try things. So final outcome. What can we see for the final outcome? And what I'm getting here is the Five of Cups. Okay, so the Five of Cups is a card of a person that is not so happy. This is a person Okay, so this is a person that is in despair, but usually it's a person that his despair is not so justified because the reality is better than he thinks. Usually his cups, usually he has 3 cups that are still upright and 2 cups that are spilled, and he doesn't see the 2 cups that are up, and he just sees the 2 cups that are spilled, and because of that he's not seeing reality in a good way. But still, it is a person that is in depression, the person that is not, that has lack of trust, a person that is this desperate. This is a card of someone who is even in separation, a person who is negative self-fulfilling prophecy. So it's a person who is pessimistic, has problems in communication, has lack of trust, is very lonely, passive, paranoid, losing motivations, and wants to give up. Now, in this card, we see this gives me the feeling of this person that is standing on top of this rock, and before him there's the ocean, and he's contemplating jumping. This is how I feel about this card, and these 5 cups here uh, are just painted here, but not really, but they're not really materialized here. So they're here just to tell us that it's 5 cups, that it's the 5 of cups. But this person is, in my opinion, is thinking about jumping. And this is a card that gives me the feeling of a real desperation, a real loneliness and depression and pessimism. And this is a very bad place to be, especially when it comes after the 9 of Swords. So this is the tarot, and the oracles are 2 oracles. The first one is called the Dark Confessions of the Soul. And this is another oracle from the same creator that is doing those oracles on Etsy. And I also saw it on Amazon. I think that the manufacturer is called Sishui. I don't know who the creator is, but these oracles are coming in all sorts of oracles, time oracles, and love oracles, and they in all sorts of they come in a small number of cards and big number of cards, but they all have very to the point messages. So that will be one oracle. And then I thought about taking one card from the energy oracle deck to see the whole energy of the trial. So this is going to be trying to see a confession from Harry, and the oracle, the energy oracle, will be about the trial itself. So let's start with this one. So first let's clear the deck. Okay, so confession from Harry, a confession from Harry. I don't feel guilty for how I treated you. My ego is too big to care. feels kind of right for me, to me. Feels that this is how he talks to his family, this is how he feels regarding his brother, his father, and each and every one of his family members that he bashed in his book. He doesn't feel guilty about anything that he has done because his ego is way too big to care. Okay, so let's see what the energy card says about the trial. Okay, so clearing the deck. Okay, so Elton John and Prince Harry's case against the ANL. Elton John and Prince Harry's case against ANL. Fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael. So let's see what does it mean. So this card is about love, compassion, and self-acceptance, and it means that the plaintiff, have a greater readiness to receive love from others as well as from themselves. That doesn't mean love from people. That could be the acceptance from the judges. It could also indicate that a much needed healing from a previous broken heart is taking place. So in this instance, this could very much be that the plaintiffs or could be the ones that will show, will get a better, we'll get a better review by the judges, and the judges will consider their case as a strong case, at least according to this card. Okay, so this is it for this reading. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.